Venom Let There Be Carnage releases exclusively in theaters next month, and even though we have still not yet seen this movie, which of course is the sequel to the first Venom movie, so this is Venom 2, we're already talking today about Venom 3 because Tom Hardy recently did an interview with Esquire where he was asked about basically the future of his character, this franchise, a possible third Venom movie, and of course, one of the things we all really want to see, a team up or possibly even battle between Tom Hardy's Venom and Spider-Man. So there's definitely some really exciting updates here that we are talking about in today's video, but let's go and jump into this. So first of all, in this interview, when Tom Hardy is asked about his future as Venom, he responded, quote, "I'm thinking about the third movie as well because I think you need to write that at the same time. A third won't be greenlit until the second is successful, but the studio were really pleased with number 2. And so as you can tell from that little bit there, first of all, you can tell really how much this character means to Tom Hardy and how much he really cares about this version of the character in this whole franchise, and that he really wants to do a third Venom movie, but of course it's not been officially confirmed. Apparently the studio really liked what they've seen with Venom Let There Be Carnage, so it's looking pretty likely that we are getting Venom 3, and that's definitely some exciting news, but of course they're not going to officially announce that until after they see how Venom Let There Be Carnage performance at the box office and see how much money it makes, how the reviews are, what people think of it, and you know, all that good stuff, because they're not just going to greenlight it now and then a couple months later have it turn out this movie is not successful at all, nobody likes it, and then, oh, yeah, never mind. So, yeah, it makes sense that they're waiting to see how Venom Let There Be Carnage does. I'm really hoping it does well, because I really do want a third Venom movie, just like Tom Hardy. And inevitably, in this interview, as they were talking about the future of Venom on the big screen, they ended up talking about a big screen meeting between Spider-Man and Venom. And this is exactly what Tom Hardy had to say. Quote, "I would be remiss if I wasn't trying to steer any kind of connectivity. I wouldn't be doing the job if I wasn't awake and open to any opportunity or eventuality or be excited by that. Obviously, that's a large canyon to leap to be bridged by one person alone, and it would take a much higher level of diplomacy and intelligence sitting down and talking to take on an arena such as that. Should both sides be willing and it be beneficial to both sides, I don't see why it couldn't be. I hope and strongly, with both hands, push eagerly toward that potential and would do anything to make that happen within what's right in business. But it would be foolish not to head towards the Olympic Games if you were running 100 meters. So, yeah, I want to play on the field." And again, just from that, you can tell, again, how much he loves this character Venom. And he really does want to do this crossover with Spider-Man. Of course, that would bring up the question of which Spider-Man. Most likely option is, of course, Tom Holland's Spider-Man. But there is also the possibility of maybe Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. Because I feel like maybe those two would even fit more well together. I don't really know, but I think, again, the more likely option is Tom Holland's Spider-Man. We've gotten teased of this before, and based off this interview, it sounds like there's at least discussions about that at Sony. I think the other day there was like supposedly leaked concept art of Venom versus Spider-Man from Sony, so I don't really know if that's officially happening or anything, but that ultimately I think would be the best idea to do for Venom 3, because you did the first movie, which was introducing Venom, setting up this character, and they battled Riot. Alright, cool, that's great and everything. Venom 2, aka Venom Let There Be Carnage, you introduce Carnage, and you have Venom versus Carnage as this huge battle and all that crazy stuff, so that is great. And, you know, usually Venom and Carnage are like arch enemies. That's like the big bad for Venom is Carnage. So where do you go in Venom 3 that could be bigger and better than this? Unless you want to go full on crazy with like Null, the symbiote god, I think Spider-Man is the next best option, because, you know, that's where Venom started. He started off as a Spider-Man villain. That's how Venom even got to Earth, was he bonded with Spider-Man. So I think that really would be a great way to one-up Carnage, and also a perfect way to cap off this trilogy and it could possibly end with the whole thing of like having the white spider on the Venom chest and all that, and just getting those Spider-Man-like abilities that Venom has in the comics. And again, I think that is the best case scenario. But then again, you have to think about it. The way we've seen Venom portrayed so far, he's not a villain. I mean, sure, he eats a couple different people and bites off people's heads, but he's still more so an anti-hero. So maybe Spider-Man and Venom will battle each other, and maybe there will be some sort of fight between them, but I doubt that would be like the whole movie. I feel like if they do have a Venom Spider-Man crossover, it'll be like, alright, they fight at first, and then by the end of the movie, they team up to take on some bigger villain, which I think would be really cool. And speaking of other villains, this is where my whole idea toy box comes into this, of just some crazy ideas that we could be seeing from Venom 3, other than Spider-Man, that possibly these two could team up to take on some of these other characters. And of course, they're all symbiotes, because, you know, Venom versus symbiotes, that's kind of how it has to work. Like, I don't really know who else you would go against. And some of the top ones I want to see would be definitely Scream. I'm pretty sure we got a tease of that in the first Venom movie, where we actually saw the yellow Scream symbiote. So I would love to see Scream in the third movie. Also Anti-Venom. Anti-Venom could be pretty cool as well. Toxin, I think, is a great idea too, because we actually saw in the first trailer for Venom Let There Be Carnage, we were introduced to Patrick Mulligan, who's a detective, and in the comics, he is the host of Toxin. So that's already set up there with that character and everything, so that is totally a possibility for the third Venom movie. And then my final idea that I think would probably even be the best idea, because, you know, if you have Venom and Spider-Man teaming up, you're going to need more than just one symbiote. How about the Life Foundation? This is a team of symbiotes in the comics that's pretty much what it is. I don't really know too much about them, but I know that it's just this crazy group of symbiotes from the symbiote home planet. Riot was actually originally a member, but they could just bring together all the other members of the Life Foundation, like Scream and Lasher and Phage and I don't know what other ones there would be, but I think that would be a really cool thing to see in this third Venom movie, is to really bring things full circle. And also that would be a great opportunity to explore more so the origins of the symbiotes, because that's something we didn't really see in the first movie. It was just, our Venom is here on Earth, and he mentioned a few things about his planet, and he was like, oh, I'm a loser on my planet. So I think that'd be really cool. We could even see flashbacks to Venom on his planet and see all these symbiotes living together on that planet. I think that'd be really cool to see as well. And yeah, I think that really would be best case scenario. That is my top idea of what we could see in Venom 3, is Spider-Man versus Venom, and then by the end of it, they team up to take on the Life Foundation, or possibly some other symbiotes. Also, we don't even know how Venom Let There Be Carnage is going to end. We don't know what Carnage's fate is going to be. Maybe Carnage survives. Maybe he's going to be the villain of the third movie as well, and they could do a full-on Maximum Carnage story arc. That could be pretty cool as well, how Spider-Man and Venom team up to take on Carnage, just like they originally did in the comics and the animated series and everything. So that could be cool as well. Again, there's so many great ideas here. So I highly doubt that a third Venom movie is not going to happen. But again, they are going to wait and see how Venom Let There Be Carnage does perform, to see whether it is really worth it and if they can make enough money off of this franchise. But guys, I have to say, I'm really excited for this, with all the possibilities of the future of this Venom franchise. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think about my ideas for Venom Let There Be Carnage, or actually no, Venom 3? And what do you want to see in Venom 3? Do you want to see a Spider-Man Venom crossover? Do you want to see Maximum Carnage? Do you want to see the Life Foundation, Scream, Anti-Venom? What do you want to see in Venom 3? And of course, guys, as always, thanks so much for watching. Please drop a like if you enjoyed this video, and hit the subscribe button so I can keep up to date on everything that goes on in the Marvel life.